Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you from thehealthyamerican.org. This video took me a long time to put together. There is a lot going on with this Tylenol. I'm going to explain why I'm calling it that in just a moment. But basically, Tylenol is taking the hit in the investigation on autism. I'm calling it a red herring. What say you? In this video, we're going to look at what these claims are against Tylenol, why I'm calling it Tylenol. Did you know the strange history of this medication and what happened in the 1980s, and why this just doesn't pass the smell test for me? We're going to hit all of those things in this video. And as always, I love reading your comments and getting your perspective as well. So let me get this straight. Bob Kennedy and Trump, basically, is echoing Bob. They're suggesting that Tylenol taken by pregnant women, this has a causative association, whatever the heck that means, that it contributes to autism. Yeah, right. Trump even went so far as to announce that pregnant women shouldn't take Tylenol and that it shouldn't be given to babies. Now, we're going to look at the backlash of that. But first, just a very quick background about autism. Let me know if you have a child that was diagnosed with autism, if you yourself have autism, if you know anyone who does. And I told you about my friend Laura Hayes, who is an advocate against these injectable products that are causing this condition. And this video kind of took a different turn. So I'll be sharing her comments in an upcoming video. But basically, autism, according to this website, and I'll have everything linked for you at my Substack, peggyhall.substack.com. I don't do a lot of outgoing links on YouTube. YouTube normally takes down a lot of comments that have outgoing links, and they can give my channel a strike if they don't like the website that I'm linked to. So peggyhall.substack.com is where to get the links. All right. So this website says that autism is a developmental disorder that can show signs as early as the first year of life, although symptoms often become more apparent between 18 and 24 months. Drop a comment if you know what else happens between 18 and 24 months. What is happening to the innocent babies as they're being held down and jabbed? Basically, it's like child abuse. That happens between 18 and 24 months. Some children may not show signs until age 3 or later. And in some cases, they may lose skills that they had around 18 to 24 months. Diagnosis can occur at any age, but the symptoms generally emerge in early childhood. Remember that, friends, because that is key when it comes to considering what happens. It's not the red dye, I'll tell you that. It's not the Fruit Loops. Could it be this? Could it be the fact that a child becomes a literal infant pincushion by the age of 2? Or is that just a mere coincidence? As I say, Bob is trying to blame it on the lowly Fruit Loops and, of course, red dye. And yes, Tylenol does have red dye in it in such minute amounts. So you're telling me that a pregnant woman taking Tylenol puts her developing baby at risk, but that baby is born normal and it's functioning, and suddenly at the age of 18 to 24 months, inexplicably, unexplainably, did the child start ingesting Fruit Loops? An 18-month-old? Did an 18-month-old start ingesting red dye? Is that what happened? But suddenly, around the age of 18 to 24 months, a baby that's getting 100 doses through childhood in this day and age, it has nothing to do with the explosion of autism? You're telling me that autism rates have increased only because doctors are better at diagnosing it? So mothers only started taking Tylenol, what, in the 1990s? Well, I'm going to give you the whole history of Tylenol. And these yahoos, as someone called them, yahoos, are telling us that it's Tylenol. I see. That explains the explosion in autism, that a pregnant mother took Tylenol while pregnant and the baby was born and had normal functions, and suddenly the Tylenol kicked in at the age of 18 months? Or you can see I'm getting very upset here, friends. Or the parent gave the infant Tylenol and suddenly it developed the inability to speak, to function, to have social skills, it not only stopped developing, but the child regressed. Well, that's what Bob Kennedy's saying. Your friend and not mine, Bob the Bamboozler. Oh, I got all the hate mail when I exposed this charlatan years ago. Oh, absolutely. And there's his crony, Donald Trump, echoing exactly what Bob is saying. So the FDA followed up with its own announcement. Let's see if I have that for you here. The FDA on September 22nd, mark that date also, because that's what ties in with my Tylenol explanation. The US Food and Drug Administration today initiated the process for a label change for acetaminophen, Tylenol, and other similar products to reflect evidence. What evidence is there? Suggesting that the use of acetaminophen by pregnant women may be associated with an increased risk of neurological conditions such as autism and ADHD in children. The agency also issued a related letter alerting physicians nationwide. Well, many people spoke out against this, and what caught my eye, and I'll get back to what happened with the pregnant women, but what caught my eye was the date, September 22nd, just days following the very strange events surrounding Charlie Kirk. Now, I can't call it a murder or, I don't know, a killing. I can't really call it an assassination because there was no bullet, no blood, no medical report, and no burial. But Tylenol, Tyler was all in the news. So that's why I call it Tylenol. Tylenol took the hit once again. I'll tell you what happened in the 1980s in just a moment. That also included Tylenol, and it also Tylenol was implicated, and it also involved the FDA. But here we have Tylenol as the culprit in causing autism. It was announced within several days of the Charlie Kirk spectacle with this alleged shooter named Tyler Robinson. Yes, get it? Tylenol. Well, a lot of Tylers started popping up. This fellow, Tyler McGettigun, get it? Get a gun. He was allegedly the first eyewitness of this incident, this spectacle, and he said that there was not enough surveillance, there was not enough security. Basically, he wanted to get a full TSA body pat down in order to enter the grounds of the school where this incident took place. And of course, you know that any alleged shooter would certainly be showing up to get his backpack searched at school grounds. We were told he wasn't even on school grounds. We were told that Tyler Robinson disassembled a rifle, a long gun, put it in his backpack, scaled a building without any ladder outside of school limits. So certainly McGettigun's idea of having the full body pat downs and drone surveillance and so forth would definitely have captured this non-shooter of the non-incident. And then apparently he stuffed the gun down his pants or something like that and hid it in a non-wooded area. Oh, we were told it was a wooded area. I already broke this down for you, friends. There is no wooded area surrounding Utah Valley University. It's in a residential area. So let's see. Here's another Tyler, and this is Tyler Bauer. Yes, in front of the brick wall. It was just a coincidence. It has nothing to do with the fact that Freemasonry uses bricks as a symbol. Come on, friends. We've been over this before. Every time I point out signs and symbols and bricks and colors and gestures, people tell me that I'm blowing it out of, not you smart, savvy, sophisticated ones, but the ones that stumble across the channel say that I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. Yes, of course I am. No one would ever use a sign or symbol to gesture anything of meaning. It's only a coinky dink. So Tyler Bauer here is the COO of Turning Point, and he spoke with much glee and enthusiasm at the Charlie Kirk political rally. Oh, excuse me, the Charlie Kirk Memorial in Phoenix. And speaking of Tylers and Tylenol, this was happening. I did a video all about this, that Eric Kirk was in a music video with Tyler as her co-star. Friends, I think I'll have to do a top hit on this music video. Yes, that sounds just about the right time to play that again. Some people might have missed it, and boy, did I break down this video, because this fellow Brad Mates is the lead singer in this video, and he had all sorts of demonic symbolism. Oh no, there I go again. It's just a coinky dink. That's just a design on his shirt. It has absolutely nothing to do with the goat head Baphomet satanic symbol. It's absolutely a coincidence. I should stop asking questions. Now, don't make anything of his one-eyed symbolism and his 666 friends. People do that all the time. At least that's what some newbies on my channel tell me, that they're always doing these gestures, and I'm reading far too much into them. So let's go over it again, friends. Stop asking questions. Believe everything the media shows you. Never question any of these signs or symbols. They are done completely unconsciously, subconsciously, certainly not consciously or intentionally. Now, speaking of Tyler's, I believe I was, how the heck did that pop in here? There's Charlie Kirk doing that fist gesture again that I pointed out, but don't read into that. That means nothing, but it means something to him. Isn't it strange that Eric's face and head is so much larger than Charlie's? This probably is AI. It looks so bizarre to me. He's got this word inside on his shirt. Normally he wears the red Kabbalah bracelet that Eric tried to explain away in a previous Instagram post. I'll have to do some deep dives on that Instagram again. It's very distasteful for me to even speak about this person. But what I wanted to show you was this image here of more Tyler's. Did I not grab it? I'm pretty sure that I have it in my Substack here, which I'll have. There we have it. So this is the Freemason. This will be coming out in my Substack tomorrow. The Tyler is the name of the Freemason who guards the lodge's secrets. I think that's quite interesting. And we also heard that this other Tyler here, the Tyler Bauer, well, he was the one that introduced Charlie and Erica. And these Tylers, the Freemason Tylers, also are the ones that interview the candidates. So we were told that Eric was a candidate for a job with Charlie, and that Tyler put them together. So how do you like them apples? We've got the Tyler in The Shooter. We've got the Tyler McGet Get a Gun as the first witness. We've got Tyler Bauer. We've got Tyler the performer in the music video, and we've got Tyler. Oh, there's one more. So this fellow here, I forgot to tell you, Brad Mates had a son, and he named him, I'll give you one guess, Tyler. And guess what? His middle name was Robert. So that would make it Tyler Robert's son, the son of Brad Mates. Tyler Robert's son sounds like Tyler Robinson. There I go again, making connections. I should just put my brain on hold and not think about these things. So that put me in mind of calling it the Tylenol scare. But friends, blaming Tylenol for causing autism does not add up. Just look from the year 2000 to 2020. Was there a sudden rise in the ingestion of Tylenol? Was there some sort of Tylenol epidemic in the last 20 years? Well, let's look a little further back, shall we? I went back actually all the way to 1955. And that's when Tylenol came on the scene, believe it or not. 1955, it was marketed. And I'll do the history of Tylenol in just a moment, but let me tell you the prevalence of autism in the 1950s. 1 in 10,000 children. Are you with me? 1 in 10,000 in the 1950s. How many vaccines did children get in the 1950s? They got 5. All right. They got smallpox, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, and polio. So in the 1950s, 1 in 10,000 children with 5 vaccines. All right. I just jumped ahead a couple of decades to the 1970s. Now, autism was about 5 children in 10,000, and there were still about, 5 vaccines, but more doses in the 1970s. Let's jump ahead now to the 1990s. Now we've got about 70 children out of 10,000, and the doses were 14 doses in the 1990s. You've got diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, measles, mumps, rubella, polio, hepatitis B, and so about 14 doses. Now let's jump to the 2010s, and you can see that here, all right? So now we've got about 150 per 10,000. These rates here, they do vary a little depending on which source I was using, but you can see that the trending rate is up regardless of the numbers. And let's see, childhood doses were about 54 doses in 2010. 54 doses. You've got diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, measles, mumps, rubella, polio, hepatitis, varicella, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, pneumococcal, the flu, and actually that's different, and then influenza and the rotavirus. So they're coming up with all sorts of new diseases that they can have viruses and injections for. So we're in 2025, and I've done videos for you in the past. It's over 100 doses throughout childhood. So when I was doing this research, my husband said, what are you doing, a video game online? It looks so bizarre. It's even difficult to make out. This is the most recent information I got from the CDC. I did a video counting these up, and it was well over 100 when you count in the flu and COVID, and there are several, 3 doses, 4 doses, 4 doses, 5 doses. So it goes on and on. And I would ask you, why is Bob and why is Trump, why are they ignoring the explosion in the childhood vaccination doses, but they're pointing at Fruit Loops and red dye and Tylenol? So here we have it. In the 1950s, born in the 1950s, born in the 2010s. It's absolutely astounding. Did mothers not take Tylenol in the 1950s? I'm going to share this story with you in just a moment, going back into history, but I could not find any data telling me how much Tylenol was consumed by pregnant women in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, 2020. If you can find that data, please email me, support@thehealthyamerican.org. But you have to acknowledge that there is a correlation between the number of injections given to children and the rate of autism. People will explain it away by saying, Peggy, they just know how to diagnose it better now. I see. But Bob is blaming red dye and mold and pesticides. And I'm not saying those aren't harmful, but how is it correlated to children becoming autistic between the ages of 18 and 24? Are they only exposed to pesticides during those months? Are they only exposed to Fruit Loops and red dye during those months, or Tylenol? Friends, you know, and I know that that certainly does not make sense. What I also know is that Bob Kennedy did say that he thinks vaccines have saved millions of lives. And he thinks Trump's warp speed was a raging success. And that he wants to protect childhood vaccines. He only wants to make them safer. So this was kind of a strange backlash against this announcement. Apparently, I'm not on TikTok, I'm not on Facebook, I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on those social media places, but people send me this stuff. And apparently there was something going on where pregnant women, in defiance of this announcement, were like taking mega doses of Tylenol, which is kind of weird in and of itself. But I'm just saying that people were scratching their heads saying this absolutely does not add up. So what I want to do is talk to you about this very bizarre Tylenol scare, more fear mongering in 1982. So Tylenol had been on the market since the 1950s. It was a prescription drug, and it was for children, and it was called the Tylenol elixir, and it was supposed to be a safer alternative to aspirin, because you know how dangerous aspirin is. So it was manufactured by McNeil Laboratories, and it sure has had a rocky road since then. In 1959, Johnson & Johnson bought McNeil Laboratories, and of course, Tylenol was a part of that. And Tylenol was then made available over the counter. And around in the 1970s, they changed the marketing to adults away from the children's elixir, and they focused on extra strength Tylenol. You can see that right here in the background, extra strength. Let me know, do you take Tylenol? Do you like Tylenol? My understanding is that is what doctors recommend for pain, more so than narcotics. But apparently in 1982, Tylenol made the headlines because people were apparently dropping dead after taking it. Now, friends, I've got to do a deep dive for you on this as a separate video, because as I was preparing for this broadcast and I was going deeper and deeper and deeper, which is why I was running a little bit behind, I think, methinks that there's a little bit more than meets the eye here. And I am smelling a rat. And this whole story doesn't pass the smell test. First of all, I do remember in the 1980s, it was all over the news. And I'm going to read to you the PBS story right now. And there will be a follow-up video after I can determine whether or not this was, how is it pronounced? A psyop? All right. Early on the morning of September 29th, start to catch the dates as well. This is what PBS says. A tragic medical mystery began with a sore throat and a runny nose. It was then nearby anyway. A suburb of Chicago, Mary said that she had a sore throat and a runny nose, and they gave her extra strength Tylenol, one extra strength Tylenol capsule that, unbeknownst to them, was laced with cyanide. And Mary was dead by 7 a.m. Within a week, her death would panic the entire nation. And only months later, it changed the way we purchase and consume over-the-counter medication. Are you getting the clues now, friends? I know some people hate it when I collect clues. I should stop questioning. I should stop looking. I should stop using my brain because it means nothing. The story goes on. The same day, a 27-year-old postal worker sorry, friends. They like to demonize the post offices too with all of those shootings. They haven't been doing those lately. Those were back in the day, probably in the 90s. I'll have to do a whole video on going postal. Not to say it didn't happen, but I'm talking about the sensationalizing of it and the fear mongering of it. So here in a 27-year-old, notice the clues. As I say, I'll have to break this down in a separate video, but I just thought to be a massive heart attack, but it turned out it was because he took a Tylenol pill. His brother and sister-in-law, Stanley and Teresa, rushed home to console their loved ones. And let's see, Stanley was 25 and his bride was 19. Both experienced throbbing headaches, a not uncommon response to a death. And they each took, you guessed it, an extra strength Tylenol from the same bottle that Adam had used. Oh, remember Adam Lanza? That comes to mind from Shady Nook. Yes, they like to recycle these names. Over the next few days, 3 more strange deaths occurred. 35-year-old Mary McFarland of Elmhurst, Illinois, 35-year-old Paula Prince of Chicago, and 27-year-old Mary Weiner of Winfield, Illinois. All of them, it turned out, took Tylenol. At this point, investigators made the connection between Tylenol and the poisoning deaths. Tylenol was the best-selling non-prescription pain reliever sold in the United States. Hey, you wouldn't think it's because Big Pharma would want you to pay big money for prescription pain relievers. That couldn't tie into it now, could it? Should I go down that path, or am I reading too much into it again? But these gelatin-based capsules were especially popular because they were slick and easy to swallow. Unfortunately, each victim, we're told by PBS, swallowed a Tylenol capsule laced with a lethal dose of cyanide, became a national hero. And as I say, I'll do a breakdown on all of these so-called murders because my hogwash meter is going off at a high level here, friends. Methinks there is more to the story. But the bottom line is that after these Tylenol murders, Congress passed the Tylenol bill, making it a federal crime to tamper with consumer products. That's why we have all of those safety lids and the sealed containers and all that jazz. So there you have it. Tylenol is being blamed Once again, the blame game. I'm trying to figure out why Tylenol. Let me know what you think. I love reading your comments, love getting your emails, support at thehealthyamerican.org. Let's see what you have to say here. Okay, yes, Rosalind said the childhood jab schedule is insane. Analysis Media says they're still using Tylenol for these operations. Viva Chris Ray makes you wonder why it's still on the market. You know, yeah, it's very strange to me. I think, okay, Mike says, is Tylenol safer so that they use it for bad stories? You know what, Mike? That is an avenue that I want to research, because I remember in the 1980s, I never watched the news or, followed anything really, but it was all in the headlines. And I remember thinking, that is so bizarre. First of all, there's more to the story, where apparently some crazy guy got a hold of these bottles at the pharmacy drugstore and laced them with cyanide. Okay, first of all, how do you lace Tylenol with cyanide? How does that even occur? Secondly, why would he do it? It reminds me back in the day, trick-or-treating, when we were scared as children because there were razor blades in apples. Like, that's bizarre. That was just a whole nother weird psychological operation. Don't hold it against me that I went trick-or-treating as a child, friends. I know what it's all about now. Come on, let a kid have their candy, all right? We were told that there were poisoned popcorn balls. Why would I even eat a popcorn ball from a stranger? And then razor blades in apples. Oh yeah, some nutcase is going to sit around putting razor blades in apples and giving them away, and some child is going to bite into them. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. It was fear mongering from day one, and they did the same thing with Tylenol. And I bet that what Mike said, that it's probably a very good pain reliever. I'm not a person that typically takes this kind of stuff, but gosh, I do have a little stitch in my shoulder. I think it's from being on this darn computer and the computer mouse. You know what? I might take a Tylenol and just see how it treats me, just in the name of research. Oh, bromelain is great for arthritis pain. Thank you, Mary. I don't have arthritis, but I think I will do that. Turmeric, oh, that sounds good as well. So anyway, I believe that we know that there was an FDA action following it. And I still am pulling together all of my research about the FDA beginning, because guess what? It was the same thing. The FDA started because of another psychological operation, doing fear mongering and making people afraid, so afraid that they would accept the act that created the FDA. So I will be doing that in an upcoming video, friends. I have a lot of videos on the books. It's only me, and I spend most of my life dedicated to bringing you this information. And so it takes me time to do so. And I really appreciate those of you that appreciate what I do and you support me. So that can all be done over at the Substack, peggyhall.substack.com. If you'd like to send me something in the mail, I've got a snail mail address for you in the description box. And I check that post office box about once a week, and you will get a thank you note from me. And for everyone making a donation, you're added to my monthly webinars. They're private, they're live. You can chat with me, I answer your questions, and you can also be added as a paid subscriber to Substack. So signing off now. I will be doing more research on this. I want to tell everybody how much I thank you for being here. Love my Healthy American audience, the best audience on YouTube, the best moderators, Valerie and Rhonda. Friends, you have got to read my Substack that came out today, because it was all about the cheese flu, and your comments were so darn hilarious. I'm still laughing at them. You really kept me in stitches. So look at that Substack. I gathered the best of the best. I probably missed some of the best ones as well, but take a look. All of those hilarious comments about the cheese harboring bird flu. I mean, they really are stretching here, friends. So thanks, everybody. If you missed it, go back to the beginning and watch. And I look forward to seeing you